Hello and welcome to a Gypsy's Kiss. Hello to all my VI peeps and Team Treasure Princess. I'm Shelley Carney. Tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about some more important words, and this time the word is canyon. All right, so let's get started with the word canyon. Of course, we see it in the poem and take it in the canyon down. So let's consider down as kind of part of this, but not the main word, right? Because the main word is the noun, and down is kind of an adjective. It tells us about what kind of canyon down, what direction to go. Maybe take it is a verb, take it in the canyon down. All right. So, Thrill of the Chase, page 47. That was many years before the streets were paved, so the deep potholes on Canyon Street often were filled with water. That was fair game for every car that bounced by. Page 48. My hands turned white and had deep canyons in them. This is the only time the word canyon or canyons is used in a metaphoric sense in all of the quotes that I could find. If you have found a Forrest Fenn quote that includes the word canyon that is in the metaphoric sense rather than being talking about a canyon or canyon street, let me know. Page 59, a mention to my friend Donnie Joe that I was going out to look for Lewis and Clark. He was quick to take the hint and said he would just ride along and help me keep the mountains company. So we rented a couple of horses from a friend and started up Red Canyon. Up. Whenever Forrest Fenn says Red Canyon, I want you to notice that he says up Red Canyon. In every quote that I found where he says Red Canyon, he uses up. Page 109. One afternoon I walked into the Kachina Gallery on Canyon Road. Now that's the Canyon Road, of course, in Santa Fe. Canyon Street is the one he was talking about in the Totem Cafe capers. So that was up north, the Yellowstone area. All right, then we go on to March 1st, 2012. This is The Rob Reader, Forrest Fenn by Margie Goldsmith. I've always been independent and somewhat impulsive, and I like to do things without a goal or strategy. There's a freedom in not making decisions until the last minute. My best hours have been flying at 500 feet, looking for Indian ruins, or following a river through a winding canyon, not knowing or caring where I might spend the night, even sleeping on a riverbank if there's no motel. Through the winding canyon he would fly through, he says at 500 feet, looking for Indian ruins, following a river through a winding canyon. I do want to take note that he says there's a freedom in not making decisions until the last minute. I like to point out that he says that many times that he doesn't like to plan too far in advance. He likes to have things just occur spontaneously. And that might inform your search theory as well. All right. November 3rd, 2012. Forrest Fenn, author, The Thrill of the Chase, by Laureen Mills for Report from Santa Fe. And this is a YouTube video. All right. So when he was up there in Yellowstone looking for that treasure chest, he saw a sign that said Red Canyon, which is the canyon that we went up on horseback for a week. Again, up. Moving on to Forrest Fenn at Moby Dickens Bookshop. And this was November 2nd, 2013. He said, the first day that he discovered Mesa Verde and climbed down into the ruin from the canyon top, he picked up those 22 little turquoise beads. Now, in this case, he went down into the canyon, from the top of the canyon down into the ruin at Mesa Verde. So there could be some sort of contextual definition here for us. The difference between going down into a canyon from the top down in, or starting at the bottom and going up, as he did in Red Canyon. All right, May 29th, 2015, Forrest Fenn, treasure hider, author, gallery owner, and Santa Fe legend, and this is a podcast. Let's see. I went into the Kachina Gallery up on Canyon Road. He's telling that same story again that's also in the book. I knew one of the famous Harvey girls. She lived up on Canyon Road in Santa Fe. So yes, there is definitely a Canyon Road in Santa Fe. February 1st, 2016. This is also a YouTube video, as it happens. And he says, well, it's not a good story. He's been lost in the Rio Grande River Canyon west of Santa Fe. Today is the 25th day, and we've had as many as 50 people walking up and down those canyons. And I've been in helicopters 3 days. Evidently, he went into the canyon on the 5th of January and didn't know he was lost until about the 11th. I didn't know he was lost until about the 11th. Randy was in that canyon looking for that treasure chest that I hid in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. So what calls out to me is he's been lost in the Rio Grande River Canyon. It's really more of a rift, but he's calling it a canyon. So we can kind of get an idea of what he visualizes when he thinks of a canyon. If we're thinking of the Rio Grande River Canyon or Rift west of Santa Fe. November 2016 from Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 163. Down here. And the question is, you've searched for artifacts in deserted canyons? And the answer he gave, deserted canyons is not a good phrase. I have looked for artifacts in the mountains and deserts of New Mexico, Wyoming, and Montana. So apparently canyons is quite different from mountains and deserts. Isn't that interesting? When he tells us that the treasure is hidden in the mountains, but canyons is not a good phrase. He went to the mountains and deserts of New Mexico, Wyoming, and Montana looking for artifacts, but not in canyons. Interesting. All right, we are on page 3. Let's see. Forrest gets mail from a middle school class, Dale Neitzel's blog. This is from February 8th, 2017. And the question is, our group also thinks if it is not hidden there, then it might be hidden somewhere near Cimarron Canyon. He replies, the canyon is very long, so if you go searching there, please be prepared. The canyon is very long. He's treating the canyon as maybe a little bit more personified. Canyon is long. Interesting. Well, that's a way of describing a canyon. Is up, down, and long. All right, April 2017, Dale Neitzel's blog, Scrapbook 173. With that knowledge, the soldiers swept into the canyon, routed the Indians, burned their lodges, and killed 2,000 horses. Forrest is telling a story here. Just wanted to note his language. Swept into the canyon. Into. So we have down, up, long, and into. July 31st, 2017. People explains all about the elusive $2 million treasure hunt that may have claimed another life by Rose Minitaglio. And Forrest says, It took me 2 trips in my car to hide the treasure. And I can tell you, an 80-year-old man is not going to make a trip into a canyon, then come up and go down again. Into a canyon, then come up, and then go down again. So it's definitely down, right? To go into the canyon, it's going down. Because he's telling us here, I'm not going to make a trip into a canyon, then come up, and then go down again. All right? So if you're not, Forrest Fenn, the 80-year-old man, is not going to make a trip into a canyon, then come up, and then go down again, what's he talking about when he talks about take it in the canyon down? It took me 2 trips in my car to hide the treasure, and I can tell you, an 80-year-old man is not going to make a trip into a canyon, then come up and go down again. What does that mean? Perhaps it means that not far, but too far to walk is driving. He drove into the canyon, stopped at Home of Brown, got out, and hid the treasure. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think of the word canyon and how these phrases can help us to come up with what these metaphors mean and how we can use them to find the treasure. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time. Oh, there it is. Bye.